As the protesters who had been calling for Hosni Mubarak to resign celebrated their victory in Cairo's Tahrir Square, leaders across the world marked this milestone in Middle East history. Since the protest began late last month, Western leaders had walked a tightrope, calling for democratic reform, but stopping short of openly calling for Mubarak, a long-time ally in the region, to resign. Barely an hour after the announcement of Mubarak's resignation, British Prime Minister David Cameron had this message for Egypt's new rulers.
We believe it must be a government that starts to put in place the building blocks of a truly open, free and democratic society.
The call for a quick transition from military to democratic rule was echoed across the capitals of Europe. The European Union's Foreign Affairs Chief, Catherine Ashton, said Europe stands with the people.
To say to those who are now charged with being the guardians of the transitional period that we have high expectations that they will deliver for the people, and that the European Union will be there to offer its support.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel urged Egypt to honour its international obligations.
President Mubarak, with his resignation today, did one last service to the people of Egypt. We expect from future Egyptian governments that they continue with peace in the Middle East in order for the treaties with Israel to be honored. The safety of Israel must be guaranteed.
And from the United Nations in New York, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon hailed the patience of the protesters.
The voice of the Egyptian people, particularly the youth, has been heard, and it is for them to determine the future of their country.
In Tunisia, where a wave of unrest just a few weeks ago forced the collapse of that country's government and inspired Egyptians and others, few could believe the chain of events that has since swept through the region.
I'm extremely happy. We would like to congratulate the Egyptian people and all Arabs. These are democracies that we are bringing with our hands. No one has brought them to us. Not America, not France, no one.
Across the Middle East, people are taking to the streets in solidarity with the Egyptian protesters. In Jordan, which has witnessed its own anti-government protests on a smaller scale, Egyptian flags filled the night sky. It was the same story in Gaza, where the roads filled with people celebrating. Hamas, which controls the Gaza Strip, gave this statement.
The resignation of President Hosni Mubarak is an announcement of the beginning of the victory of the Egyptian revolution, and we in the Hamas movement affirm our standing with it and support the demands of the Egyptian people.
And in Beirut, there were more fireworks and more celebrations. That final sentiment will likely be on the minds of many world leaders. While they praise Egypt's show of people power, governments across the Arab world and beyond are wondering where might be next. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, London.